All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our regular council meeting for Monday, September the 27th. We are meeting virtually tonight, as we have been for the last number of months. And to get started, I would ask that you join us for the national anthem. Thank you. We would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, including the Ojibwe, Potawatomi, and Chippewa, and the people of the Three Fires Confederacy. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest this evening? Don't see any. Okay, can I get a motion then to approve the minutes from the September 13th meeting rather as presented and circulated? Councillor Hall, seconded by Councillor Bonato. Any discussion on those minutes? All in favor? It's carried. Were there any questions submitted for this evening for public question period?
No questions this evening, Your Honor.
Okay. Under public presentations this evening, we do have our 2022 municipal grant funding presentations. So, sure sign of fall, I guess. We're back into this process. So this year we had a total of 14 applicants, and I think 11 applicants were available tonight to present. So we are going to hear from 11 different applicants. Each presenter will have a total of 10 minutes. And after each presentation, there will be a chance for members of council to ask any questions. We are not going to be deliberating on any of these tonight or making any decisions. I have asked the clerk to put an agenda item on for next week to allow us to have those discussions. And I guess ultimately, if we need more time than that, we can extend further into the budget process, but hopefully we can at least get close next week. So with that, we will jump right in and start with our first presenter, who is Heather from the Children's Foundation of Guelph and Wellington Foods and Friends program, which was formerly known as the Local Schools Breakfast Club. So Heather, welcome. How are you? Can't hear you, Heather.
Mm-hmm.
I have a comment, the chat.
Okay. I I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect.
Can
All right.
everybody else hear Heather?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, looks like we're good to go. Thanks.
Okay, perfect. I just have, I'm on my phone as well, so I just need to be unmuted there. So good evening, everyone, and thanks again for this opportunity. So the Children's Foundation Student Friends Program has requested $3,000 this year, or for next year, for the Student Friends programs at the Senator Dufferin District High School, and also the St. Benedict's Catholic Elementary School student nutrition programs. The funds requested would help support the cost of purchasing healthy food for both of these student nutrition programs. Just wanted to have like an update on the situation at the schools with their student nutrition program. So in September, the beginning of September, Upper Grand District School Board has approved schools to offer student grab and go student nutrition program, which at Senator Dufferin District High School, this supports 860 students each day with a pre-packaged meal. So as many of you may know, the Catholic students from the Shelburne, town of Shelburne, have the option to enroll at the St. Benedict's Catholic Elementary School, which is located in Orangeville. And at the first week of the school, the Dufferin Peel Catholic School Board did allow the student nutrition programs to open, but only to be staffed by the volunteers of the school staff. So at St. Benedict's School right now, in the past few years, they offer a snack program, which is ran by a group of amazing volunteers that are parents. So unfortunately, that school is unable to offer a program this year or at this time that's in the school, but I am working with the schools right now to come up with some other options that we can offer, so we can make sure those students are their needs are being met with the student nutrition programs. So again, the Children's Foundation, we're offering the Student Friends at Home initiative. So that is that home delivery program that was running last school year. And with that, we offer any families can register in Dufferin County that their children attend one of the schools here. And they will receive a food kit with healthy meals that are enough for 10 meals per child, in each family. And that meal or those boxes will be delivered every other week by our volunteers. So this year, the home delivery, we're just starting that actually on Monday is our first delivery. So that initiative will start from then until December 13th, which at that time we're hoping beginning of January that our student nutrition programs can then reopen to full breakfast, lunch, and snack programs again. We have collaborated again with the Orangeville Food Bank to offer the Student Friends at home. So we're packaging at their facility, and we're with some of their volunteers, and then our volunteer drivers will pick up boxes from there, drive to Shelburne, Orangeville, Grand Valley, all throughout the county, and deliver those boxes to families. And with that collaboration, we just started another initiative that we're creating, packaging the snack meal bags. So these meal bags will go to schools that are having issues bringing in volunteers with only being staff allowed to volunteer. So with our volunteers at the food bank, we package the meals in individual grab and go bags, and then we also deliver them right to the front door of the school. So there's no contact with us at all with any students or any staff. We basically leave it outside and then they come out and pick that up. So we're really, really hoping that one of these two options can fill that gap for the St. Benedict's snack program and up until they can bring in some of these parents again to help with that huge program at that school. That's basically, the information that I have to share tonight. I'm just wondering if anyone has any questions. I'm open to answering any of those.
Okay, great. Thanks, Heather. Any questions? Councillor Bonato?
Just wondering, I heard you work with the Orangeville Food Bank. Are any thoughts of working with the Shelburne Shepherd's Cupboard Food Bank?
Yes, actually, we work kind of hand in hand as well. Deb is amazing there, and if we have any issues with, say, we're delivering a food kit to the Shelburne area and someone's not home, I'm able to contact Deb, and she will actually take that food kit into the food bank in the Shelburne area and help contact with the family to connect with them to have that box delivered to them. And we also try to support each other with just information, making sure that their clients are registered for the Food and Friends at Home initiative right now, which I know I spoke to Deb last week and she was contacting a lot of her families already for that initiative. But we definitely try to work together as much as possible.
Also, are the numbers up this year or down because of the COVID?
Well, I know working with with our initiative here, at the home initiative, we are just starting our new deliveries on Monday. So I have approximately 54 families throughout Dufferin. So I don't have the exact number for the Shelburne right now, but we're hoping that that's going to increase within the next couple of weeks, considering we're only going to be doing 6 deliveries. But we're hoping that all of those breakfast and lunch programs can reopen again in all of Dufferin. I know Shelburne right now with the 5, including Primrose, we have 5 breakfast programs that are a huge hit. But they are, receiving these grab and go bags that have a lot of different variety of food items in those.
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome.
Deputy Mayor Anderson.
Thank you. And Heather, thanks for the great work that you and your team are doing. Just to pick up on Council Bernato's point, I believe he was sort of alluding to whether the pandemic has sort of exacerbated sort of the need for these services. And certainly there's a lot more growth in Shelburne as well. So I don't know whether you're forecasting a higher rate of need as a result of maybe both those contingent factors.
Yeah, we are expecting a higher amount of need as with working out of the food bank in Orangeville. They've explained that they've had a 200% increase in clients within the last few months. So, working with the food banks, it's really important that we can collaborate and make sure that we are supporting all the families who are in need right now.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Unfortunately, we do have a very tight budget this school year. Just with the COVID pandemic, it's been really difficult to fundraise throughout the year, especially the schools. They haven't been able to hold regular fundraisers. So it's a real challenge out there. So this funding to these schools would be really important to all of the students there.
I guess just to follow up, but this came to my mind just out of curiosity. This obviously doesn't take any way about the need, obviously, that you described, but during the school year last year, because many students were learning virtually, did that impact, were you able to see any savings that way, or it didn't matter? You were, making home deliveries, for example. Did it change sort of the way you delivered services at all during that time period?
Well, it made a huge change. Like some of our funding that would have normally gone out to the schools, we held back that funding to support the home initiative, which was a higher cost for these programs, like to send out that amount of food to all the families. But this year we have actually allocated funds to all of our programs. We have 21 programs in Dufferin. So we've allocated a normal funding to expect that their programs will be all up and running for this year, this school year.
Okay, all right, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, the other ones, yeah. Oh,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions for Heather? No? Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too, take care.
Bye.
Okay, so our next presenter is Alethia O'Hara Stevenson on behalf of the Dufferin County Canadian Black Association. Good evening, Alethia. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Mayor Mills. Good evening, Council. Thank you once again for providing the opportunity to share. I'm going to quickly share my screen. Is that okay if I can share my screen for a brief moment?
Yeah.
Pictures tells a better story. Just give me 30 seconds. So I just wanted to highlight to start off some of the successes and accomplishments to date. And I want to start off with our very successful scholarship program that we were able to launch this year. And on my screen, what you're seeing right now are a number of scholarship recipients. And these recipients, many of them are from Shelburne, and I'd like to highlight the three on the bottom right-hand corner. So these three students are elementary school students graduating and going off to high school. And so we were able to provide a bursary program for these students. And the key driver for the bursary program for these was to recognize academic and leadership excellence at the elementary level, as well as to encourage encourage these students to continue on the path of excellence right throughout high school. And so we recognized that we wanted to make sure that we're setting our youth up for success. And it was critical for us to be able to provide these opportunities for these young students at the elementary level. So this is just one aspect of the scholarship program. Page 2 again, one of the key things that we talked about with our organization is, yes, we're focusing on the Black community, but we're also a very inclusive organization. So where we have community partners and sponsors coming on board to support, we're able to open up the scholarship portal for some of our other students as well. And so you can see on this slide that the diversity of the students is apparent on our slides. And then on the third slide, again, is just to highlight some of our very own students in Shelburne. So Sunit Tour is a resident of Shelburne. So the point of this slide was just to highlight the accomplishments from a scholarship perspective and some of the great things that we have started to do in Dufferin County with the Black Association. The next slide is just to highlight some of the comments. Another very successful program that we were able to launch this year was Ask Our Expert series. So this is something that we put on every single month, the first Tuesday of every month. And I'm very proud to say that we have been able to deliver this program from January to date. This is just a snapshot of some of the comments that we have received from our viewers right here in Dufferin County, many of our residents right here from Shelburne. One of the most critical programs that we were able to offer this year was through partnership with Wellington Dufferin Guelph Public Health. And it was to be able to provide a COVID information session, which was again a critical enable to making sure that we're staying on top of our numbers, providing the education aspect that we talked about that is part of our program. And so the comments specifically here in Black speaks to the impact of that presentation. So I just wanted to take this moment just to highlight some of these key aspects for you before we go into some of the other accomplishments this year. I'm just going to stop my slide. Perfect. So one of the other things that I wanted to highlight that we were able to accomplish is with the grant funding from 2021, we were able to provide not only the bursary program for the students, we were able to also enroll a number of students in a coding program. So 5 students directly from the town of Shelburne. And the other success is the fact that we were able to keep the money within Dufferin County. So partnering with an organization in Orangeville to be able to have this program available for our students to benefit from. We were also able to provide many of our expert sessions to the community, and based on our relationship, based on the brand of the Dufferin County Canadian Black Association, we were able to get a number of partners to come on board and lend their expertise. And as you can see from the comments that I shared earlier, again, it was hugely successful, much needed for the community. And we have on average of from 10 to over 30 users participating in these sessions. So it depends on the topic, the sessions vary. We were able to also partner with other local organizations to be able to give back to the community, partnership with organizations such as Streams Community Hub, partnership with organizations such as the Young Entrepreneur UFI to be able to give back to our community. So we're leveraging the resources that are already existing in our community to be able to add value. We were able to also partner with Smile Corner Orangeville to be able to provide membership benefits to our community. Again, just to make sure that we're keeping money within Dufferin County, we're contributing back to our economy right here, and making sure that we're able to also build out some of those cultural awareness programs that we focus on for the organization. This year, what we're asking for the funding for, again, is to be able to continue on the great work that we've already established. We want to be able to expand on the scholarship and bursary program. We also want to be able to make sure that our young people, now that our students are back in the schools, those students who will not be able to afford opportunities to go on educational programs, whether it's part of athletics, things that would be a barrier for them, we will be able to help them make sure that they're able to achieve some of those dreams. And so we were able to even reach out to the schools specifically to find out what are some of the needs in the schools. And those were some of the feedback that we have received to be able to provide opportunities for individuals who may not necessarily be able to afford it, to be able to participate in extracurricular activities to enhance their academic career. That is essentially all I have. So we've talked about the cultural awareness program that is captured in the application. And the other piece that we talked about as well is the financial literacy and tutoring program. So we were able to partner with a number of different organizations to have those preliminary conversations around what tutoring could potentially look like for our students. And so we will be able to use the funding to be able to get those programs off the ground and to be able to help our students to achieve success in those areas. Financial literacy is still something that is critical on our agenda. And if you notice from the package that we have $1,500 allocated to be able to use this fall specifically for financial literacy for our young people. From an adult perspective, we have been able to provide a number of financial literacy sessions, specifically around or Ask the Expert series. Earlier this year, we were able to provide tax advice, which is all in part of the financial literacy program. So again, we're tackling this from a number of different avenues to make sure that we're making the biggest impact for our Dufferin County community. And again, the focus is on the Black community, but all of our programs are open, so anyone can participate. You can sign up. All of our programs for the experts are, of course, free of charge. And that is my time. Any questions, Mayor Mills?
Excellent, great, thank you. Any questions for Alethia? Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, thanks, Alethia, for your program, or your presentation, rather. Well, actually, for the organization, of course. I know that obviously you've been doing some work with the high schools with respect to personal care items and backpacks and stuff like that. But my question to you is, you talked about some of the feedback that you've received from the Ask the Expert series. More locally, what are you hearing from families, let's say here in Shelburne, with respect to the services that you offer?
So that's a really great question, and I failed to highlight that. So I'll start with a scholarship as an example. One of the recipients, I was able to physically present the bursary program to her, the recognition, the plaque, and the pride, the excitement to know that she was being recognized by a Black organization. Second, it was an organization that was in her community at home for her, and also the fact that there was additional recognition within her school. There was a plaque that was now installed in her elementary school so that year after year, it will be a reminder as well as an incentive for these young people to strive for excellence. So that is just one example. From a scholarship perspective, again, with each of the package, we provided a t-shirt, and the t-shirt simply says "Inspire" on it with the DCCBA logo. And that message, speaks volumes, because we want our young people to have the pride, and we want them to continue on the path of excellence and to be proud of who they are and to continue on the path to achieve greatness. One family reached out saying they absolutely love the t-shirt. And not only that, they're going to make sure that every member of the family is now outfitted with that t-shirt because, one, they saw the value. And these are commentary that we received in writing, right? So we can share these comments with you as well as the previous comments that were on the slides. But she was proud of the scholarship. She was proud to receive a t-shirt, and she's going to outfit the entire family with a DCCBA branded t-shirt, okay? Other family members have reached out sharing that the scholarship opportunity has now provided them with the opportunity to be able to secure laptops for their children. If they had not received this, they would not have had the opportunity to be able to meet their academic needs, the financial needs, to go on to post-secondary education. So that's just from the scholarship aspect of things. From the Ask the Expert series, this is much needed. This is timely information. This is great value added to the community. And the fact that we were able to expand the program, not just to Shelburne, not just to Dufferin County, we kept the doors open. So we had people calling in from various parts of the GTA. We even had one participant who was in the States reaching out, participating in the program and sharing their feedback. But one of the great things that we were able to do is to track some of the locations of these individuals to pinpoint that, yes, these individuals are from Shelburne, some of these individuals are from county. And then we've had some regulars. Again, because of the great program that we have been able to provide, we have people that are coming back month after month to participate in these programs. So something that I'm quite proud of, something that the team is quite proud of. And that's a great question, Deputy Mayor Anderson. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Alethia? No? Okay, great. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you, Mayor Mills. And thank you all of council for all of your support. I know a number of you have done amazing things to support the organization. So thank you very much and all the best.
Great. Thank you. Okay, next we have Nicole Jeffrey, who I see just came online. Hi, Nicole, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So Nicole is going to be presenting on behalf of Get Outreach Works. So over to you.
All right. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor Mills, Deputy Mayor Anderson, members of council and community members. I just want to take this opportunity first to thank each and every one of you for allowing us this opportunity. We are truly excited about what we're presenting today. We have some awesome results to share, as well as provide you with some exciting news to some initiatives that we planned for 2022. So my name is Nicole Jeffrey. I'm representing Get Outreach Works. Now, some might be asking, who is Get Outreach Works? Well, our members consist of passionate individuals who are committed and they advocate for the younger generation. Get Outreach Works partnering with community-based agencies to reach the community at large through education and collaboration. So how do we go about doing this within the community? We promote, we encourage the community, transformation through education, advocacy, and diversity. That is exactly what we do. Now, by promoting the best interests of the community, we focus on educational programs and cultural events. Now, the vehicle that we choose to use to promote our education in the school system and through our community is our SEEP program. Now, SEEP stands for Cultural Immersion through Educational Programs, and it develops and fosters community involvement and unity. Now, it promotes the arts through educational curriculum, as well as elementary, high school students and the community participates in our program. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we wanted to take this opportunity to share some awesome results from our 2021 Black History Month celebration. We were able to create and develop and execute 15 virtual files for the Upper Grand District School Board that was distributed among their schools. Now, for example, one of the virtual videos that we provided had members from the medical professional members that spoke about their careers, as well as how the pandemic has affected their profession. We also had an opportunity to showcase youth this time around, where they demonstrated their talents in a read-along, as well as a musical band. Now let's talk a little bit about our initiatives for 2022. Now, our goal and our theme is called The Journey. Now, The Journey will take a look at some pivotal movements, and it's inclusive of all that impacted the journey, as we will showcase local history makers as well and show that the roots that they have made throughout the community here in Dufferin County. Now, we will continue to rotate the current virtual files that we have, and we are also going to add new virtual files showcasing the community history makers. Now, again, the objective of the SEEP program is still going to be demonstrating the historical awareness. We also will portray Blacks in careers, sports, military, music, dance, and food. And we're going to make it available and accessible to cultural relevant information. We'll continue to celebrate the contributions of African Canadians, Americans, and Caribbean ancestry. Now, the program highlights, again, will be theme-based, a virtual 4-week enrichment program with the Journey finale. Now, we're excited to also share a new collaborative book club that we'll be presenting in 2022, as well as a new STEAM camp program. Now, this initiative will support the student population throughout the year as opposed to just 1 month. Now, I just wanted to take an opportunity to just share a little bit of what we did for Black History Month. And I know everyone loves show and tell, so just sit back, relax, and I'll just play just a quick video so you can have an understanding of what we did this year. And I'm okay to share the video, Jennifer?
Yes, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Who used his voice to help everyone else's voice to be heard.
Wow, this sounds really exciting. I can't wait to hear this story.
Me neither. Our story today is called Meet Willie O'Ree. Okay. Willie O'Ree looked around and beamed. All his life, he dreamed of playing in the National Hockey League. He had practiced and trained hard, and now here he was, racing down the ice as a Boston Bruin. Willie made history on January 18th, 1958. He became the first Black player ever in the NHL. Now, for Willie, his dream was to play in the National Hockey League. What do you want to be when you grow up? What are your dreams?
To their country. So the video you watched earlier made mention of some of Captain Junior's favorite trailblazers in military. Let's see if you remember who they were and what they did. Are you ready? Let's go. Are you ready for the next question? Let's go. This is William Hall. Was he awarded A, the Victoria Cross Medal? Or was it B, the Distinguished Conduct Medal? Or was it C, Order of Military Merit? Which medal was it? That's right. If you answered A, Victoria Cross, you are absolutely correct. William Hall was the first Black Nova Scotian to receive the Victoria Cross.
So that's just a little bit of what we provided to the school board. As I mentioned earlier, there was several different themes. The read-along theme that was for the ages of kindergarten to grade 3. And then the little military quiz that you've seen there, we had a guest speaker, Captain Kevin Junor, who spoke about his experience. And then they had an opportunity from what he spoke about to test their knowledge. So we had a little bit of what the trivia looked like that we sent to the school. So I just wanted to thank everyone for the opportunity, and we do look forward again for your continued support. Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole. Are any questions? Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I think I officially just set the tone. So you can expect me to ask questions and make comments throughout the entire presentation today. Putting that aside, Nicole, I just wanted to say thanks for the work that you are doing. Councillor Wagner and I have been able to attend a number of the events that you put on over the years. And so we know that it's of high caliber. But here's what I wanted to say publicly. You gave me a framed certificate a couple of years ago on the behalf of council to give to council. And I had it in my house for about a year because town hall was closed. So I had it hanging on my wall here. And I'm proud to let you know, and the rest of council know, that I took it down and brought it to council, or at least town hall the other day. So it is now officially in the hands of staff there, and it should be hanging high sometime soon, hopefully, in the hallway. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay. Thanks, Nicole.
All right. Thank you again. Have a good night, everyone.
Do take care.
Bye.
Okay, so next we have Corolla and Jeremy Little. Talk to us about the Little Family's Haunt in the Park. Hi guys, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
Still figuring the Zoom thing out, so
Yes,
bear with us.
We can relate.
Thank you all. Thank you all for listening again tonight about the haunt in the park. Quick synopsis of last year. We weren't, of course, able to do the haunt in the park at the Fiddle Park itself, and instead opted for a kind of a parade. A bunch of us dressed up as characters, and we wandered through town with a bit of a float. And we had teamed up with the Rotary Club to do a bit of a food drive. So we picked up donations both for the Rotary and for our process, and we managed to come together with 5,240 pounds of food and almost $1,500 in cash for the Shepherd's Cupboard Food Bank. So that was phenomenal for us. And I'm sure it was in no small part to the fact that we were working with Rotary. This year, well, I'll address this year after. Since it's a grant proposal, I'll talk about next year. You have our paperwork for next year there, and it looks a lot like the ones we've handed in each time. And we hope that in 2022, that is exactly what the haunt will look like. Back to the way it was pre-COVID, where we're able to fill up the entire pavilion with a haunt, have people come out, take part, have the high school students do their volunteer hours, and put on a big event for the town. As you are all aware, we just don't know what's going to happen, so we kind of have to roll with the punches. But our best guess would be that that is what we would be able to do next year, and to do and make that happen, that's why we asked to have the use of the Fiddle Park. As it is a significant build for us, we do ask for, and we understand that it is a long period of time that we ask for, 6 weeks. It takes on average about 4 weeks to set it up and 2 weeks to take it down. It is a lot of pulling in gear and stuff, so we're not actually doing the setup right on that first weekend. So we have this year, for instance, been able to accommodate another rental at the Fiddle Park before we're able to set up. So we try to make it work so that you guys still have a bit of a revenue stream if you need a rental there. And then there's I think a dog exercise program that's renting the back of the park as well while we're there this year. And you know, if we can make those kind of things work, we're happy to, just because we understand what a big ask this is. We hope you understand why it takes so long for us to set it up. And then of course, take it down in that lovely November weather. If there are any questions about the proposal as such for next year, I'd like to address those now, and then we would touch base on kind of how things have shifted a bit for this year, just because of COVID.
Sure, okay. Deputy Mayor? Any questions about next year's program? I mean, it's as you said, the applications, much the same that we've seen in previous years. So yeah, I think everybody's pretty comfortable with the product you provide. So yeah, I think we're likely okay. So if you want to walk us through what you're thinking for this year.
So we're not as bad off as we were last year. I think we're all a little bit more comfortable with how things work now with COVID and masking and all the parameters with the Dufferin Wellington Guelph Health Unit and stuff that they've set out. So we're hoping to put on what we kind of coin a modified haunt. So we would still set up a haunted house in the pavilion or out there, but we're hoping to set it up in such a way that it'll be a little bit smaller as such because we're not doing the same alleyways. We're making one bigger alleyway to ensure no contact spaces and to allow lots of spacing. We have a COVID plan in place, which includes all the screening, QR codes, you name it, contact screening and all that stuff for coming in. We have one exit and one entry, keep everybody spaced. So we're confident that we're able to put on some kind of an event. It's just not going to be quite as dramatic as it has been in other years. So just a little bit more space and a few less characters. We won't be using any volunteers this time around, except for family, just to keep it less numbers and less crowded and having more control about who's doing what. We are also hoping, so last year, the quote unquote parade, and I hate calling it a parade because it literally was a truck and a trailer, was actually really well received, not just in the amount of donations that we got, but we got a lot of feedback. There were adults that don't have children that don't tend to come out to the haunt because they think it's kind of silly for them to show up without kids. I don't know, they feel a little out of place. There was a lot of elderly actually that came out and said, oh, it was so great to see you guys go by, because we went past the two retirement homes and we felt so included in the event this way. And so we'd like to, and I have a letter in for a future council meeting to address it specifically, but we'd like to kind of rehash the idea of the parade again this year and include it as well. But not do it as a parade. We're going to coin it as a character walk. We'll do more or less the same route, which did most of the town. We'll split it up into two separate groups to do it, just because it took us about 6 hours last time to walk the entire route, and that was a little bit much. Each group would be about 5 of us, and we would be walking with a decorated truck with advertising on it as to what the events are for the weekend. We would be in costume, and we would be picking up the food donations and having those people that don't feel comfortable coming to the park for the actual event still feel like they're included and are able to join in. I am also meeting with representatives from the BIA and the CDRC, because they are also both trying to put on Halloween events as well that weekend. And we're trying to coordinate it so that we're all together on one same page and do one big community town-wide event. So we would like to do our character walk on the Friday, kind of like as a kickoff to Spooktacular Shelburne, and then have our events with the family-friendly stuff, perhaps on the Saturday or Sunday afternoon. Like I said, I'm still confirming with that. And then we would have our evening haunts on both the Saturday night and the Sunday night. I think that covers it. Okay. Any questions on that? And yes, I did talk to Diane over at Cruisen Insurance. She's got us covered and you guys covered. And we know that for the character walk, we would need to touch base with fire, ambulance, and OPP, and we will do so as soon as we know if we're good to go with this idea. Okay, excellent. Sounds good. Any questions about this year's program? Councillor Wagner.
Yes, thank you very much. So obviously we love what you guys do. So thanks again for bringing that back to town. I love the idea of still doing the sort of the character walk. That was great. My girls loved it last year as well. So thanks again for that. I guess just to clarify for the public, does your event fall under the provincial mandate, I guess you could say, of a vaccine certificate?
Oh, good question. We currently, as it stands today, in this 24-hour period, we are able to go ahead with a screening that gets given to us electronically. So there's something that they fill out when they come to the haunt, and it has all their information on it. as we all know, there is something coming down the road at October 22nd with QR codes and vaccine passports, and we're going to stay completely fluid on this. We're going to do whatever it is that we need to do on the day of. It's just to say it and put it into gear now just may not be relevant in 4 weeks time or 3 weeks time when we're ready to do the event. But we do have a current COVID plan in place, and we can make adjustments to that as needed on the day before if needed. So just trying to stay liquid.
I know, and information is constantly changing. So that's great that you're on top of it. And I guess the community can just pay attention maybe to the Facebook pages or the social media aspects in order to stay updated whether or not they can attend.
Absolutely. We'll have all the information and we'll be feeding it as much as possible, both in print and social media and everywhere else. And I think likely something on the radio as well, just so that we can keep everybody informed of exactly what's going on today.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. Deputy Mayor.
I only did this because I didn't want to disappoint
Seriously this time?
Well, in all seriousness, it was a great point that Councillor Wegner pointed out. And you talked about not necessarily having a certain amount of volunteers, particularly at the park, to reduce the numbers. But now, if we get to a point where, to Councillor Wegner's point, where you have to now be checking for validation, at that point, do you feel maybe the need to get a volunteer or maybe even security, and whether you're factoring that into the cost? Because we've noticed some instances where people go and you have to show proof, and then there's sometimes a kerfuffle and heated arguments. And so do you want to use a younger volunteer to do that, or versus an adult maybe, or somebody in security? And so I'm just making sure that, not to say that you haven't thought about it, but make sure that's factored into your cost as you're presenting that to us. That's all.
No, absolutely. And it is something we actually had a board meeting yesterday to talk about. We wanted to kind of address this because it's not a position anybody wants to be in, to get into an argument with somebody at the event. We do have some early guys that don't get intimidated easily, and we are, for the most part, 3/4 of us are adults, and then the rest of us are our children that are there, and we wouldn't put them in that position either. So that is something we are discussing, who's going to be running security that day. So we will have somebody in place there that we feel comfortable with.
Okay, well, it looks like that's it. Okay, thanks, guys.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, so next we have, I think, Michael. Michael's here on behalf of Heritage Music Festival.
Good evening, Mayor Mills and Council.
How are you doing?
Good, good. I'd just like to say Bobby unfortunately had another Zoom meeting tonight, so she's asked me to present in her stead. So I'll do my best to share the information that she's put together. So I'm here to request continuing support for the Heritage Music Festival. As Council is well aware, this has been an event we've been doing for the last few years with the Rotary Club of Shelburne. In addition to the Canadian Open Fiddle Championship, which has been going on for almost 70 years. If it wasn't for COVID, we would have been probably planning the 73rd event, but next will be the 70th in 2022. That will be is targeted for August 4th through the 7th in 2022. And this has been one of the major events that the Rotary Club of Shelburne has put on over the years. And this does, the profits from this event do support our local and international causes. The funds that we do receive from the town are used for promotion, advertising, and to increase our diversity in attendance. We were looking at in 2020, when we were well into our planning, to expand the use of the Fiddle Park and to have the Bands and Brews to become a major event with additional music groups. And including some food elements as well. So we're looking at a barbecue component. And that's something we still want to continue and focus on going into 2022. In terms of what we've been up to for the past year, as council is well aware, we have been ongoing with the use of the Fiddle Park. We've had a couple events there, the drive-in movie event and the concert Dolly in the Fiddle Park, both COVID-friendly events being drive-ins. We've also been partnering with the EDC to do the golf tournament. We've done at the Dolly concert a 50-50 raffle, and we do have a wreath and greeneries sale coming up. So we are continuing our activities in the community to fundraise for local projects, local charities. Of course, the splash pad has been one of those major items that we've been fundraising for. And we've also been able through the Rotary Club to support some other international COVID-related activities in India, some medical equipment in Africa, and some other local activities that the Shelburne Club has been doing. Sorry, I'm just quickly going through here. In terms of the format that we're looking at for 2022, we're still looking to have 6 major musical events over the 5 days, with the Thursday night, the Country Jamboree, the Sunday matinee concert, the Friday headliner, and the Fiddle Championship, and also have a larger event at the Fiddle Park with the Bands and Brews and barbecue. Again, all this is dependent, has been a kind of a common theme among all the presentations, depending on what restrictions we have with COVID in terms of indoor events, whether we have to pivot to a more of an outdoor drive-in type event, and we are prepared to make those changes depending on what restrictions or regulations are in place for that at that time. In terms of from a previous grant that we did receive in 2021, so part of that funding was used for advertising and keeping the ticket price affordable for our drive-in movie night, and the other half of the money was used to fund the stage rental and production for the drive-in concert Dolly in the Fiddle Park. And in terms of all other information, I believe that's in the application. So at this point, if Mayor Mills or council or even Deputy Mayor Steve have any questions?
All right, any questions for Michael? No? Okay. Looks like you're off the hook.
I was sure Steve would have a question.
Well, it's another well-known entity, right? So yeah. Okay. Well,
thank you very much
for stepping in and pinch hitting, and look forward to seeing what's coming next year.
Thank you very much. And I'll be staying on for I've got another one for Bobby as well with the hamper program.
Oh, are you going to do that? Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that one as well for her.
I was actually just wondering that myself. So, okay, good stuff. So next up is Sue Peterson on behalf of the Shelburne District Ag Society.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'm the one night you want to use your work laptop, it doesn't want to play. So good evening. Thanks for having me on the agenda. I represent the Shelburne Agricultural Society. We put on the annual Shelburne Fall Fair. Unfortunately, the last 2 years due to COVID, we've been unable to hold our fair. So fingers are crossed, meeting dates are scheduled, that we are going to start our meetings to plan for 2022 Shelburne Fall Fair. We work very closely with the health unit because some of our exhibits, of course, are food and whatnot with children interaction. So we work very closely with the health unit, and we're part of a fall fair district. Ours is District 5. So we have a representative from District 5 that we are working very closely with to ensure that we follow all guidelines set out by the fair, the OAAS. They have strict guidelines, which unfortunately resulted in us not having the fair last year. There was no way we could we couldn't do everything that they wanted in order to hold a fair. So we are really hoping and positively thinking that we will be able to have a fair this year. So our funds definitely will be needed this year. A lot of our sponsorship comes from local businesses. And as we all know, over the last couple of years, local businesses unfortunately have been hit hard. So we have not started our sponsorship program yet, but our first meeting is in November, and that's on the agenda, and we'll start with our sponsorship program. So to put the fair book out that we put out every year to print right off the bat is $2,000. That book goes to all the students in grade school and the seniors' homes. There's a lot of people that look for that book. So we don't want to print that book until we know for sure there's a fair, but that definitely is one cost that money, if allowed, would go towards. There's other activities like the kids inflatables. They'll need deposits put down in advance. So that's money that we will need to front prior to going and getting sponsorship. So it will be an interesting year to see, sort of how businesses are handling the last 2 years and if they're able to reach into their pockets and support us. So we'll just fingers crossed that we can put on a wonderful fair and get back on track.
Okay. Any questions for Sue? Carrie.
I do have something to comment on. It was actually put in the spreadsheet under the comments section for the fair. Because the 2021 fair was canceled, I have not actually remitted payment to the fair board for 2021. And I guess I'm looking for council's approval to either hold off making that payment or to provide it so that it can be put towards 2022 in addition to what they're asking for in 2022. So you don't have to make that decision on the spot, but I just wanted council to know, because of COVID, we didn't automatically remit all the grant funding payments at the beginning of the year as we did in the prior year. We held on to them until we were certain whether or not the event or whatever it was that they were had asked for funding for was going to be a go. So out of all of the 2021 grant applications, the fair is the only one that has not received their contribution.
Just a question for Sue then on that point. Do you know if that $1,000 contribution from last year was budgeted for this year, Sue?
It is on our financial books as money that was approved from the town of Shelburne. However, we weren't sure because it was allocated for the 2021 fair. We weren't sure if that was something that we would be able to carry forward to the 2022. So we do have it penciled in. It certainly would come in very handy due to the sponsorship and the uncertainty of the small businesses in town.
Okay. Okay, Carrie, if you could just sort of remind us if we happen to forget next week while we're talking about that, to deal with that issue as well. Okay. Anything else for Sue? Okay, great. Thank
Perfect. You. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Take care.
Yep.
All right, next is Wayne Hannon from the Shelburne and District Horticultural Society. Welcome, Councillor. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I just want to compliment you people. You have a very diverse and very interesting and robust programs. It's been quite a learning experience listening here this tonight.
Lots of exciting stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's good to have it. It makes for a really nice community, and I congratulate you. You've been working at it, and it seems to be paying off. I guess I'm back. I'm year 15 of being president of the Shelburne Hort Society. My hat's getting old and tattered, and I'm hoping for a past president's hat someday soon, but we'll see. We didn't run this year. I'll kind of give you a synopsis of what's happened this year. We didn't run regular meetings Of course, with COVID and everything, we got into a little bit of trouble. We did our town plantings, and we told everybody to just go, when you go to the nursery, do your distancing and get it. And we got, actually, all of the Hort Societies got quite a stiff reprimand from the province that wasn't complying with the stay-at-home order. So we promptly scaled back any ideas we had early on and did our best to comply. So, but we did get the town plantings in before we got scolded. So they were in on time, and I hope they turned out really well. I have to be honest, I drive by them and I didn't really notice them. It's been a crazy year, but we're looking forward to doing that again next year. We have been trying to team up with other societies and pool our resources to have speakers and do it by Zoom. But one thing that's become, COVID's going to hit us, I think, fairly hard over the long term. A lot of the older members don't want to do Zoom, and I don't think they're going to feel comfortable coming back to an in-person meeting. So we'd like to get COVID behind us and get started and see where we go, but we're going to continue to forge ahead and meet our commitments. But I think we're going to be very changed after COVID. I don't think there's going to be any way around it. I think a lot of them, older ones, even with double vaccination, aren't going to feel comfortable coming out, because I think the fear was, at least what I've tried to get from them, was that they could get COVID still, and it could affect their long-term health. So I think we're going to be strongly impacted over the next year or two. But one question we had last year was trying to encourage us to do a bit more to try and help beautify, Shelburne and district. And that's something, it didn't fall on deaf ears, but we didn't do a whole lot. We have a Facebook contest online right now, and it's just for the best front fall display. And we're just throwing up just for a $25 prize on our Facebook group, Shelburne Gardeners. I think we have about 400 and some members there. I'll have to double check that number, but it has been fairly successful, and we're going to try and ramp that up next year. We're going to try going maybe twice a month, trying to do something and just different things, whether it's best fall display, best flowering shrub, best front porch. We're going to try and do a couple every month, and maybe start about, I don't know, I think we can start, even during the cooler months, because Halloween is still a nice display, and we're going to try and plan a year's programming, and we're going to try and offer at least one prize, maybe two, but that's kind of what we're looking forward to doing next year. So it's going to take a little bit more money, but we'll see what we can do for donations and fundraising, and what happens with COVID too, I guess.
Okay, no, sounds good. Questions for Wayne? No. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne, and keep up the good work. And yeah, I understand it must be difficult with several people not being all that confident to come out and participate the way they have in years past. So certainly thanks to you for kind of carrying the mantle on that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. It looks like we're back to Michael now.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Mills and Council. I'm presenting the Shelburne Christmas Hampers application on behalf of Bobby Ferguson. We have put in a request this year, and for most, I think most people are aware that the Christmas Hamper program has been in existence in Shelburne for over 50 years. It's changed over the years, and it's open to all people of all beliefs. Only stipulation is that recipients must reside in the Shelburne area. Funds used from this grant will be used for the purchase of either grocery gift cards or gift cards for teenagers. And that's where the grant money would be put towards. In terms of other fundraising, there's been other fundraising for this project done in the community through the Dolly Drive-In concert through Rotary, Jingle Jam at the Dufferin Public House, seasonal party, silent auctions, spaghetti dinners, and giving trees to local businesses. So The mission of this is to ensure that all singles, seniors, and families have a happy holiday by assisting them with the extra financial pressures of the season or how you celebrate. 100% of the hamper clients are from the Shelburne surrounding area, and the recipients are provided with food, health, beauty products, gift cards, and toys. This is a partnership not just with the Rotary Club, but also with the Kinsman Club, the Lions Club, the Food Bank, and 11 local churches, and many other local businesses and individuals who support the program. Sorry, that's my phone going off. In terms of previous amounts that were donated, the grant money from 2020, there has been no application for 2021, was used to buy a portion of the gift cards for 147 families. 147 families is a significant number. With COVID, we've seen the number of families go up. In years past, when I was volunteering and helping, we're putting together packages for anywhere from 75 to 95 families. And this year we anticipate that to go up another 10% at least, with the demand for this program increasing. One other program that was added last year as part of the hamper program that was done by Bobby was the backpacks for kids. So through the hamper program, we put together backpacks for kids going back to school. That was done starting last year and was done again this year as well. So there's other activities that have that this group has been doing as well to support the community.
Okay, great. I actually saw today that 92 backpacks, I think it was, were handed out this year. So I mean, for a community our size, that's significant, and certainly most appreciated. So
at that point, any questions? Sorry.
Yeah. Any questions for Michael on the hamper program? No. Okay.
Well, thank you very much for your time and attention today.
Yeah. Okay. Take care. All right. So next we have Bella Carter, who's going to present on behalf of the Shelburne Community Welcome. Saw Bella on here earlier. There she is. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. How are you, Mayor Wade?
Excellent. Excellent. All right. So how are things going at the community welcome?
It's going really well. I think our small town won't be small very much longer.
It's all relative.
Should I start?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you to you and Deputy Mayor Stephen Anderson and Council for allowing us to present. The Shelburne Community Welcome is run by myself, Bella, or also known by Shyla by some, and Sandra Gallagher is my partner. We are volunteers. We met working on the splash pad actually a few years ago and formed a friendship to help the community, which I think is the best kind of friendship actually. If anyone is new to the town of Shelburne and trying to get settled into our lovely community, the Shelburne Community Welcome can lend a helping hand. We have a basket full of information and gifts to present to the residents. Baskets were originally generously donated by PTH, but after we ran out of them, Sandra was really great at finding deals for these baskets. Can you see them? Okay, and we do not actually just drop off a basket and leave. Rather, we call the resident and we visit and we make friendship and we build a relationship. And we stand on their porch, partly because of the pandemic. The original philosophy was that we would go inside the house. But obviously we can't right now. And we pull out each item and explain each item to them. So for example, we have gifts from businesses where we're trying to promote them. We recommend the shopping area to be Shelburne. So for example, Auto Care gives us a candle with a special prize inside of it.
When you get to the bottom, there's a special discount. And then we have anything to do with the home. So we have like house cleaning, there's window cleaning gift, and businesses generously contribute these gifts to help, like this is to make your home smell better, organizing. We have Mannix Plumbing, where they give you $55 off, and it's really great because these gifts and coupons encourage employers, residents here to go visit them. There's also employment opportunities for residents. So when the employer mentions, oh, we have job opportunities, can you put this job posting in your basket? We happily do that. Nonprofits get in for free, especially like the Splash Pad. It gets in for free. And you have to tell them if you have a company that wants to donate, or if you want to donate, your name will get on if you give $2,000 or more. And then we have coupons and more gifts from different businesses. We have Christmas nuts from Shelburne Town Pharmacy and physiotherapy. But not only that, we have things that they need. For example, for me, moving into town, the most important thing was going to town council because I was lonely. I didn't know anybody. And so when my husband would put Jacob to bed, I would, here it is, in the basket. I would find out when town council was and attend. And so it was really important for us to provide a package where we have information about the town. For example, this one here, where it has a letter from the council and the mayor, and it has a picture of all of you so that they're not alone in this town. They can reach out, they can find out about all the new things that are happening and where they can donate blood and things like that. And finally, because the restaurants are going through such a hard time, we let each restaurant know that they can put a coupon in here so that people can go and get 20% off the different vendors and restaurants here. It's really, really great. They actually take the coupon and they go visit the restaurants. And finally, we can't forget dog business biscuits for the pets. They love them. I can't believe how many dogs are in this town. And not only that, we promote services within the town where there's gifts, and then when they go in, they get additional discounts. So it's a really great program. We we also provide newsletters to them every 3 months so that every resident we visited, so I think this year it's 72 so far, but it'll be 90 something by the end of the year. We promote our businesses. So we let our businesses know, by the way, you can give us a coupon or a promotion and we'll put it on in our newsletter and the residents can visit you. And it actually helps. Residents have actually told us that, businesses have actually told us that, they've received more clients or received more customers. Can I just share a screen for 4 pictures? Do I have time?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so as you can see here, that's our ideal basket, but it looks a little different. But we have ads in the paper, and we also provide a free paper to the residents. It's already free, but some of the new developments do not receive the paper, so they enjoy receiving that. We have many articles in the paper. I think in a small town, it is easier to get into the paper, but it helps. We always receive more messages. We saw your ad in the paper. We saw this article in the paper. Can you please visit our home? We're new. We also have something that I learned is that when there's a green flashing light, it's a volunteer firefighter. So that means that you have to pull over, and people don't know that. So we have a magnet in there, which one of the local firefighters designed for us, and we put it on a magnet and printed it out. And people love putting it on their fridge. They didn't know this information before. Happy resident, receiving a basket with the letters and coupons and gifts. And as you can see here, we have visited almost all of Shelburne.
And every time we make a visit, we ask them to tell us about a new resident that moves in. And some of you have been very helpful in letting us know new residents. I really appreciate it. So does Sandra. We go visit them right away and let them know. I think that's it. Oh, yes.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Are there questions for Bella? Councillor Bernardo?
Bella, first of all, I have a new couple moving in, a new family moving in across the road from me. Just bought the house, so just to let you know, and that's on Old Village Lane. I do go out and meet my new neighbors as much as I can. So the best thing then, when we do meet new people or know new people, is to get a hold of either you or Sandra, right?
That's correct. That would be
As
fabulous.
possible. Yeah. Okay. How do people, not necessarily like myself or others, how would they know if they have new neighbors moving into their area to get a hold of you? Where would the numbers or contact be posted for them?
Well, one of the things we've done is create a Facebook page where we have all of our information and people message us from there. But people also email us or call us because we put our phone number and our email address in the newspaper. And a lot of it in a small town is word of mouth. Like I still have people coming and telling me by knocking on my door here and saying, there's a new resident that just moved in. So people are getting to know us for this purpose, which is great. But we're very open to hearing other ways of promoting ourselves and marketing besides newspaper and Facebook and word of mouth.
I guess the question, sorry, follow-up question for staff, maybe more. It's posted on our website and Facebook page, I'm gathering.
I don't know. I think it's just been word of mouth for us. Or you're posing that to the staff?
Yeah. Denise, do you have?
I'm not sure. I was thinking Jennifer might know the answer to that, but we can check into that and make sure that it is shared on our Facebook page.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else for Bella? No. Okay. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you to all of you too for everything that all of you do.
Okay, so next up we have Deb Wagstaff from Shepherd's Covered Food Bank. Hi, Deb.
Hi. Good to see everyone.
You too.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys again for all your continued support. And I think we've heard a lot of great opportunities, and it's amazing in Shelburne just as we grow to see people passionate about their areas. I think Food Bank's unique in the fact that we're kind of day in, day out all year round. And we were just very blessed that even through COVID, we never missed a shift. We were able to just shift gears really quickly and work with public health. And so we have, been able to just keep providing food for everyone that has needed it, and working with also with the county, and they have new programs for homelessness. So we're trying to always put people in the right, because we are definitely just supposed to be a 3 to 5 day stopgap for food. And if people need more than that, we're doing our best to try and link them into the county for other support. Something else we've started, we did this summer and partnered with Orangeville Food Bank as well as Rotary, is a seniors market. And that was once a month. And we visited 3 of the county run, so on Simon Street, William Street, and the old hospital, the Dines apartments. We were able to go in there and provide fresh produce, cereal, milk, eggs, and especially for some of the seniors that can't get out. That was a limited program, so we are in talks right now about extra funding and grants and seeing what we can do. We're committed to the end of October at this point, but the grant money that came through Rotary and places like that, that was just, it's come to an end. So we're kind of in talks with that. We were able to put a survey out to the seniors in Shelburne, and we just got the results of that back. So at board level, we're starting to talk about, we are able to get a bit of a window into the needs of the seniors in the community, and just how much access they have to food and getting out. So that was a bit of an eye opener for us as well. We were able to run for the second summer in a row, the Kids Breakfast Program. And we were able to help, again, families. I got money given to us separate from our food bank funds to provide that again. This year we did PC gift cards for healthy snacks and food, because I found the year before when I was going out and shopping and buying all the non-perishables, it was changing from week to week how many families we had. And so that can be tricky. So it just seemed like, and the families were really grateful. I had enough funds left over that I was able to continue through September, which is good because Food and Friends will be doing a home delivery in Shelburne again, starting in 2 weeks. So we're trying to get our clients hooked up with them for that program as well. And yeah, so that's kind of a bit of a quick update as far as everything that we've been doing with new programs and trying to find new ways to help people with food insecurity. I specifically for the grant tonight, we have a few families, and one of the families that did come, I've only seen once, which is good. That might mean they just needed a bit of help that one time in the summer. But we have noticed some food restrictions due to religious reasons, and it can be lots of different religions. There can be anything from being kosher to Muslims have foods that they need to have, that some things are permissible and impermissible to eat. Bella Carter has been great. She got me connected with Ayman Sadiq Pathan, who is the interfaith advisor for the Islamic Relief of Canada. And so I've been able to talk with him and just find out how to better serve clients that we would have that either need food that is halal, or I find too that we have clients who a lot of them don't eat, well, I shouldn't say a lot, we have a few clients right now who don't eat things like pork. And one of the families we have is from Eritrea, and they actually, the way we found out that they didn't eat pork products due to religious purposes was the dad brought back to us, like at the end of winter, 5 of the bread boxes full of all like canned hams and like all the, and pork and beans and things like that, that they were just like, we don't eat those. And so what I want to be able to do is right now, to be fair, all clients, if we started asking them what they'd like, we just couldn't meet those needs. But I do feel for religious purposes that it's important that we meet the needs of those people, that I don't have to, I can give them extra and something different. And if we get this grant, I would like to put that in our, we give a January newsletter to all our clients so they can reach out to us, the interviewers, and if they have any dietary restrictions due to religious reasons, that they can let us know, and we can handcraft their hampers to reflect their needs. And like I said, we do have one family of 9 who are refugees right now, who are regular users of the food bank, and that things for them would be no pork products. And right now that just means they don't get anything to replace those. They just don't get those products. Also, they make all their own breads. They don't like use our bread. And so they actually would be really useful for them to get a big bag of whole wheat flour. And then the mom can make the bread they need for their family. And so I would really like to hand tailor and meet the needs that way. Any of the surplus of the 3,000 that we were asking for, I would very easily be able to put into our seniors programs as well. You guys know there's always needs. And so the money would directly go towards food, regardless of where. And I'd like to be proactive. We have a few families right now, but as Shelburne grows, I want to be ready, and I want to have plans in place to meet the needs of our new families, regardless of, especially when it comes to, they just can't eat certain foods. We have gluten-free right now for our gluten-free clients. So we do also try our best to do that and meet the needs of clients that way. So that's kind of the way I was thinking, big picture, thinking ahead, trying to be prepared for the future, and I'd like to partner with you guys in that way. Any questions?
So beyond funding resources, obviously, how are you doing with your volunteer base?
We're doing great. So because of COVID, we have a long list of volunteers waiting to come in. Because we're attached to the nursing home, we've just stuck with our team we have now. But everybody, without even being asked, I think because we have a lot of older volunteers, everyone's double vaxxed. Not that they were requested to be, but that just seems to be the volunteers that we have right now. And so the plan right now is that as things in COVID loosen, then we would like to get more volunteers coming in and training up. But I'd say we have at least 2 or 3 new younger ones who have just started, and some more lifters. We were short some lifters because now we do a hamper style program. They are about 50 pounds, the hampers. So we've just got a couple more guys that can come in and help lift, because that's always sort of been one of the needs that we've had that's new due to COVID. We've had lots of new families. I had a new family who hasn't been to the food bank in 3 years this past Thursday night, and their CERB benefits just ran out. And so they're scrambling now. And I think we're going to see more of that. So the good news is that it's good to see families are only using us when they need to. We haven't seen, like I said, hadn't seen them for 3 years, but we've had more new families, I'd say, in the last 2 months. I'm having at least 2 or 3 families a shift coming in brand new, because I do all the intakes for all new families at this point. And so I'm able to track and notice that. And we've definitely had an increase. And some people, I know that one mom came this summer in tears, and she was just like, I never thought I'd be here. I wasn't going to come, but my 18-year-old daughter said, Mom, we don't have food. You've got to go. And those ones kind of get me. And that's in Shelburne. And some of these moms, and there's some grandmas that are taking care of their grandkids, and they just are like, do you have, especially at back to school time, do you have any extra school snacks? What do you have extra? And a lot of our clients came end of August, beginning of September, to double up, because they don't want their kids in school standing out and not looking like the other kids. And so that's why for me, breakfast clubs and the breakfast program has been, was really important to me to help these families. So yeah, and I'd say we're up to about 200 individuals a month, I think right now we're tracking, but it's increasing. And I think just, like everything else, we're in a good position. The community has been super generous. And so that's been wonderful too.
Well, thanks again for doing everything that you're doing to help fill that gap. So are there questions for Deb?
Thanks, Ray.
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, thanks, Deb, for the work that you're doing. And I really sincerely appreciate the nimbleness and the willingness to be flexible with respect to meeting those diverse needs of your clientele. My question is, in your efforts to do that, are you finding difficulty in sourcing these, well, referred to as maybe specialty items, like, for example, halal meat? That's not something that you go around the corner and get, for example. So are you able to maybe work with some of our local grocers to make sure that they have these things in the event that your clients need them? Or do you find yourself sort of going out of the area to try to source these things?
So far we haven't, because it hasn't been part of our mandate. Like I know No Frills does have a halal section. And so part of it at board level is starting to have the discussion of, do we offer a PC gift card that they could go purchase their own meat? I did talk to the Iman, and I've been learning a lot on my end. Can it be frozen? Is that okay? And he's like, absolutely. And I know also working with Iman Solomon, he was able to bring us in dried lentils and rice and things like that from Islamic Relief Canada. And our clients were great. And one of our actual clients, because there was no cooking instructions on it, she took it upon herself to type up recipe cards for all the clients on how to eat dried lentils, chickpeas. So I find that some of our seniors, I just am surprised. They're like, I don't know what to do with chickpeas. I'm like, here's a recipe card that one of our clients made. And so it's educating our clients as well. And so for sure, if this goes through and we get the grant money, then my next plan is to put in our January newsletter. Then people can reach out to us. And then as far as sourcing foods, I think for halal meat, I think No Frills is an okay selection. I want to talk with our clients that right now to find out how best to serve them and access that food and resource it. And I know one of our sort of friends of the food bank has said that, I go down to Toronto sometimes. If there's anything I can do to kind of help out to source food that way, let me know. So it's going to be, I think, like I said, I'm trying to be proactive. We only have a couple of clients right now. The one family I did see once that kind of started me on all this with halal, I haven't seen since. So I'm hoping that that means they're in a good place and that they didn't need us again. But I think I want to be on the front end of this and be proactive.
Good. Okay. Councillor Bernardo, did I see your hand up?
I guess on my part, I'm sort of stunned. I shouldn't be stunned by the numbers going up with the growth in the town. I mean, early on it was 75, now we're up to 200. Early in my political career, from 75 to 200, it's a fair increase. Going back to the question that the deputy mayor asked, have you approached No Frills and maybe even Foodland and talk to them possibly about sourcing some of these foods that are for clients that require them, other than, hoping that you'll be able to source them further away or give them gift cards?
Yeah, I think that's something definitely that we're going to have to start to look into. Like I know that we've worked really well with both all three, and also like Andrew with Giant Tiger, and trying to do our best to help, to have talks with them on things. I think a big thing though is the substitutions, like i.e. substituting pork. Right now, if a client doesn't like a hamburger, I can't give them 2 chickens. They can either choose chicken and hamburger, or they get just the chicken if they don't eat hamburger. And so I guess for me, part of it is it's not even as much sourcing the food, it's being able to clients talk amongst one another. And so if I have a separate grant, like right now, our seniors get a $15 Giant Tiger gift card that goes towards items that they need that we don't maybe provide, whether that's pull-ups, like underwear, like adult underwear, whatever they need, they can go to Giant Tiger. We got that through a Trillium grant last year. So we were able to offer Giant Tiger cards. So it's definitely Walter working with individual clients and on a one-to-one basis right now, because the need is small. But like I said, and I think what they need, we can maybe get at No Frills. Like I said, there is a small halal section. I know it's not as big as in the city, but it's a start. And I just want to be very sensitive to those people. And I think the grocery stores, we buy things from them. They don't give us they don't give us things unless it's about to go out of code. We get that. But so yeah, that's something that historically they're very gracious to let us order large sums of things, but we pay full price for most things. And so I would assume that it would be the same, that we can buy whatever they sell for sure.
Okay. Anything else for Deb? No? Okay. Thank you. Keep up the fight.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time. Thank you.
All right, and rounding out our list of presenters tonight is Andrew James on behalf of Streams Community Hub. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. Mayor Mills, Deputy Mayor Anderson, Council, and members of staff. Since we were before you last in January 2020, the world has no doubt changed significantly. But thankfully this summer, we were able to do things like normal and do our creative arts summer camp. We saw 237 registrations, which represented 163 individual youth, over 6 weeks, 16 programs. And at the end of it all, we still had a wait list of 127 youth that were unable to attend the programs, obviously because of capacity. This March, we launched the word of mouth monologue competition online. We put the call out to youth aged 8 to 17 to select a monologue from a curated list of diverse Canadian playwrights. And after the submissions, we whittled down our finalists. And just a couple of weeks ago, we filmed our final monologue event at Grace Tippling Hall. And so that's going to be airing on Facebook and YouTube, October the 9th at 7 p.m. Make sure you mark your calendars and tune in for that. The one thing that the pandemic did allow us was an opportunity to slow down, to take stock, and to get some much needed foundation in place. Thanks to a Community Foundations of Canada grant, we were able to bring in a management consultant to help us put together a 5-year strategic plan to chart the way from where we are now to where we would hope to be. What that has meant for us in terms of practical next steps in our journey is establishing ourselves in a permanent space here in the town that will allow us to further meet the needs of children and youth in our community. Of course, Council was very, very generous in supporting our grand vision to build our own facility. And while we remain extremely excited about moving forward with that, we have determined that this interim step of having our own space would be responsible and would allow us to prove our concept and to establish the need for that greater vision. We're asking for $10,000 to support our operational expenses for 2020, as we indicated, 2022. I'm going backwards, 2022. Of course, as we indicated in our application, we know that ask is above the typical norm. And we, of course, will be gracious and grateful to receive any support that the town would be able to extend to us. The video I'm about to show is part of our new fundraising campaign, and it will further explain what the funds will be used to do and to achieve this year. So I'm going to share my screen.
We're Andrew and Julianne James, the founders of Streams Community Hub. Streams is an art-centered, youth-focused, community-minded charity based right here in Shelburne, Ontario. Our mission is to ignite learning, inspire youth, and enrich the community through the arts. We provide arts education and experiences for children and youth aged 4 to 17. And since our beginning in October 2016, we have served over 350 youth from Dufferin County and surrounding areas. We believe deeply in the power of the arts to help build self-confidence, self-esteem, and to serve as building blocks for greater academic success, and to help young people discover their purpose and passion in life.
In January 2020, we presented a proposal to the Shelburne Town Council asking the town to donate land for us to build a public access creative hub. We received unanimous support. Our journey there will take some time, and we've been working hard to take the necessary steps to get us there. We've since developed a 5-year strategic plan to help us move from the seasonal provision of programs in borrowed spaces to year-round programming in our own leased space. We see this as our next practical step in our growth to constructing our own facility. As we acquire this new space, we're designing new programs to meet the needs of our community. We are committed to continuing to provide innovative, exciting, and accessible programming for children and youth in Shelburne and across Dufferin County. All that we have accomplished so far has been achieved through the dedication of our board of directors and the fierce loyalty of a passionate group of volunteers. To grow, in addition to our new interim space, we need to hire staff. We take pride in finding arts facilitators, who are at the forefront of their craft and practice, who make it their mission to continue learning, and who bring that energy and knowledge to the youth we serve. We are also committed to creating opportunities for older youth to be engaged in serving their community through mentorship, volunteering, and development opportunities.
As a small organization, we often experience difficulty in accessing consistent, ongoing funding to support our operations. We receive the feedback that we're just too small to fund. But of course, then how do we grow?
It's going to take the power of community. We need your help. If you believe that the youth of our community deserve a place where they can be engaged in productive, creative activity and have the opportunity to discover pathways into their unique identity and purpose, then please commit to donating to Streams.
Okay, it's time to get excited. This winter, we'll be opening the doors to this 3,600 square foot space where we will bring year-round programming in the arts.
There will be opportunities for daytime, after school and weekend programs, private one-on-one lessons, family events and experiences, and of course, our signature arts camps.
Together, we can ensure that the children and youth of our community are ignited, inspired, and enriched.
If there are any questions?
Good. Questions for Andrew? Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, this is going to be really quick. Andrew, one of the things I think everybody has heard, you didn't mention this in your presentation, but I'm curious to know, a lot of people and there's studies and stats that demonstrate, and your wife Julianne is probably right next to you, so she could probably answer too as well. But a lot of information has been about how the pandemic has really impacted the youth, especially with respect to their mental health. Opening this kind of program, have you heard any feedback from family members as to what this has done for them? Understanding, obviously, you have a waiting list, and maybe the proof is in the pudding, but do you have some insight to share on that?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. Actually, the reason why we were able, and I didn't mention this, that our summer camp that we provided this year was absolutely free. And the reason why it was free for those 163 youth is because the provincial government gave us a grant that was actually specific for youth and their mental health and helping them get back to school. And so it's called healthy return to schools, safe return to school. And so actually we did exit polls on all of our registrants, and there were quite a few that identified the benefit of getting back to a normal engagement with youth, getting outside of the house and being able to do things creative and engage their mind in productive and positive ways. So definitely, this definitely speaks to the support of health, mental health for youth.
We did have quite a few youth who were visibly struggling with mental health issues.
We did. I don't know if you heard Julianne, she is right next to me. We did have quite a few youth visibly were dealing with mental health issues, of course, anxiety about being away from people for such a long period of time and then having to integrate again. We definitely saw a lot of that and had to help a lot of youth and support them in that transition back to the everyday routine. And one of the other things that we have faced, with regards to using school spaces, borrowed spaces, is that we're obviously, like this year, the school board is not opening up their community use for any rentals. And so definitely speaks to us needing to have our own autonomy so that we're able to support programming. And some of the things that we want to do, I don't know if you heard in the video, after school programs, as well as daytime programming for youth that might be doing remote learning, to have an opportunity to come over to the hub for an hour within their day to do some creative arts, also parent and child art programs running throughout the day too. And again, all of that is speaking to healthy community and mental health.
So Andrew, what sort of target do you have in terms of capacity, number of kids once you're opening this facility?
Yep, our space, again, 3,600 square feet, will have 3 classrooms, which, as well as a test kitchen where we do our culinary class. So that's potentially 4 spaces for programming. We usually keep our classes between 10 to 15 youth. And so each of those classes will be able to accommodate that many youth. Might not be at the same time, but throughout the evening, we'll have 1 to 2 hour intervals. And so we're hoping to see kids come in after school through those intervals as well as on the weekend.
Okay, great. Anything else for Andrew or Julianne? Carrie, was that your hand or? No, okay, sorry. All right, okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for allowing us to share. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that does it for the presentations. So as I said at the front end, give this some thought over the next week. I guess go back and review any notes you made, and then come to the next meeting to discuss the applications, I guess, on their merits, and we'll see where things end up. Before we leave this, just ask for a motion to receive the presentation. Councillor Fegan, second by Councillor Hall. All in favor? It's carried. Okay. What's everybody thinking? Can everybody use a quick 5-minute break before we jump into the rest of the agenda? Seeing a few heads nodding. Okay. All right, let's try to make it 5 minutes, and we'll come back and carry on with the rest of the agenda.